everyone, it's Gia. Hope you're all doing well today. So today I just thought I was gonna do, I don't know, like a ramble or something, or just see like whatever comes to my head. But I got my peppermint tea here. It's a nice cloudy overcast day. I'm all kind of, it's the middle of winter here, so it is freezing. But yeah, got my cup of tea, and I don't know, just want to talk to you guys about what I've been up to basically, and how my thought patterns have kind of shifted and stuff over the past few months, and yeah, just a bit of an update on my life and how I'm seeing things, because I'm 27 and it's quite strange as I'm getting older, like you're told to expect like your perceptions are going to change, your outlook on life is going to change. Things that mattered when I was like a teenager, early 20s, even mid 20s, just doesn't really matter as much anymore. Like appearance and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, even a few months ago there's no way I could have gone, just making my point there, never mind, I couldn't have come on camera with like a nearly bare face of makeup and like my natural hair, and it's quite strange how we view ourselves and how we view our, I don't know, it's just funny what we value, I think, and what's actually important and what actually isn't. And that realization that I think we all need to come to at our own time. But yeah, I don't quite know, but like something just shifted in the past few months for me, where my journey of like going off social media sort of changed, in that I did go several months without being on social media, but the downside of not being on social media was starting to outweigh the positives. Like, the intention for me was to disconnect and try to interact with people more in the real world, but what actually ended up happening was you were less likely to interact with people because you were missing stuff like invites, you were missing events, you couldn't see what was going on unless you were actually, it's because, you know, like Facebook and stuff like that has like event invites, and you can see what, you know, like gigs are on at like your local pubs and stuff like that on like their Facebook pages, where it's like a lot harder to just, you know, like be in the middle of town or like the city or something and go individually have to like find everything that's going on. You know, I was hearing from my friends less and less. It was more of an effort to kind of invite me to things because they have to literally go out of their way. It was actually kind of challenging, which was strange. Like, a lot of it was really good. Like, I really did enjoy the disconnect from, like, not the disconnect from people as such, but the disconnect from like all that constant noise going on, where like we're constantly like bombarded with like the news and like all the things going wrong in the world, so we're always panicking and stuff. And this was really nice to just be in this space of just clear-headedness, but also the flip side of that is you don't know what's going on in the world. So there's a lot of stuff you don't need to know about, but then there is stuff you do need to know about, and I was finding this out like way later. There is a balance. So what I've done is I am back on social media, but I'm trying to like be more mindful of what I'm doing on there, and like not try to preoccupy my whole day with just being on social media, because that is not helpful. And I guess what I learned in those few months is everything in moderation is not bad. Ideally, I'd love to just never, you know, be on socials again or the internet, but it's just not possible. Like, that's not the way the world is anymore. You know, this is the way everything's done now. Like, everything is basically online, and if you don't conform to some degree, like I don't want to conform entirely to things because I don't agree with a lot of things going on at the moment, but there needs to be a middle ground, I think, where you know, you are kind of disconnecting where you need to, but also kind of being connected where you need to. Do you know what I mean? It's about finding balance, I think. So that's that little social media update. And also, yeah, I've kind of gone on a minimalism journey as well. This kind of was very interesting to me, like start of the year, where it was definitely in my head where I'm like, I really want to do this. Like, how much stuff does somebody actually need? And it goes to show you don't actually need a lot. So I opened an online clothing store, and it's a really good source of, you know, extra income for me coming in. I really enjoy it too. So secondhand clothing, you're then, you know, giving clothes a second chance, like not a second chance as such, but like, you know, a second life. Like rather than going to landfill, it's going to somebody else. It's getting like reused and recycled rather than just going straight to, yeah, landfill basically. Which, you know, I really like that whole, if somebody else wants it, pass it on, and at the same time you're making money out of it, so perfect. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And at the same time, it's been really, really good for me to like declutter and get rid of things I don't actually need. And it is like interesting when you actually sit down with your thoughts and stuff, and apart from like the emotional attachment we get to stuff, which is actually bizarre when you think about it, like trying to get like rid of some stuff which I never wear. Like I never wore them at all, or like once maybe 5 years ago. Never looked at them again. They were just taking up room. And like going to list them and sell them was like really emotional. Like some things I'm just like, I was having a lot of trouble letting go of, and I had to keep like I'd almost have to like stop and then try to relist it like a few weeks later, because it was like to try to ease off the emotional connection to this piece of fabric. It was really bizarre, like And then when you actually sold it and you got the money, I'm like, well, I'd much rather have that money than an item of clothing I'm not using. But like, it is interesting how we get emotionally attached to things. Like, why? We just put this whole value on this stuff that's just taking up room we don't think about at all until it's time to get rid of it, and then suddenly we're emotionally attached to it. It's just like, what? It's been really good. It's been really like healing for me in a way. I don't know. I don't like to be like surrounded by stuff. I never have. I've always liked to be super clean, super organized, super tidy. So just having this excess stuff that accumulated over the years was kind of stressful. And now I'm kind of letting stuff go. I don't know, it's really nice, because my value now and my prerogatives and stuff are focused more on actual things of value. Like, rather than buying more and more clothes I don't need, like now I'm investing in like houseplants and stuff, which actually, like every time I look at my houseplants, which again, it's a weird, we all have our thing, but just seeing like some life in your house, like it always makes you smile. Like I just see them like perched there and I'm like, oh my god, it just brings something. And it's like, I don't know. It's also been focused on money saving, how to cut costs. So this is all stuff that's useful and I really enjoy doing it. And I don't know, I just feel super old now because I'm just like, wow, this stuff brings me joy now. It's crazy, but it really does. It makes me happy. It's the simple things. I really think it is. It's the simple things in life that I think are the most important. It's not the stuff, it's the people, and it's the connections, and it's the living stuff, you know what I mean? Not the material stuff, the living stuff. I don't know, just my views on everything have just shifted, and it's really, really good, because what I did at the start of the year was I quit my job. I didn't have a backup plan. I did have money coming in from like a few online things I was sort of doing, but it wasn't like an income, like it wasn't consistent. It wasn't, you know, you're going to get paid on this amount on this day. Like it wasn't like that. So it was very freelance and very sporadic. I didn't know when I was going to get paid. I didn't even know I was going to get paid that week. I may not have. So it was a big step. It was kind of really scary. But it was also one of the best things I ever did, because now I've had all this time. Because what are we now? We're in August now. Start of August. I've had all this time now since the mid-January to now, where I've had to sit with myself. I had to sit with my thoughts. I've had to realise who I am without all these distractions, because work can be a great distraction from the things you don't want to think about or deal with. Like, you know, if your family's annoying you, or like you're having relationship problems or something, like going to work clears your head for a bit, and people can kind of get addicted to that. Like, that's definitely a thing. So having that time off, quitting my job, and just having this silence, like to have to go through my, you know, my things, go through my shit basically, sit with my thoughts. And it was horrible. The first few months were just like, I was so depressed. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't feel like I have a purpose anymore because I'm not getting up and going and working for someone else whose company I actually don't care about. But it was what everyone does, you know? Like, you know, people go to work, they get paid, they do that for the next, 50, 60 years of their lives. And then maybe get 15 years, maybe 20 years retirement, and then you drop dead. Like, and that's apparently what life's meant to be. And I realised, hell no, that is not what I want to do just because that's the norm, you know, just because that's what everyone else is doing. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it's depressing. Like, I don't want to live that sort of a life. So what I've done is sort of, you know, cut costs, learned about, you know, minimalism, about how to save money, which, like, I've always loved saving money. It's always been something I have been good at, which is good. But, like, living below my means. Like, I find it, I like the challenge. I like the challenge of going, all right, how low can I get my grocery bill or something, but still get, like, nutritious foods and stuff that, you know, like, still eat well, but for the lowest price possible, you know what I mean? So I enjoy that challenge. Realizing you don't actually need as much as you think you do, like money or stuff. Like, for me, I just want to be financially comfortable with a bit left over for emergency expenses. I like knowing money's there. I like the financial security. I like to have that. That is very important to me. But at the same time, chasing money for the sake of chasing money and buying things, like, I've completely had an overhaul of that because it was just depressing. You, like, you know, you get your paycheck, you blow your paycheck, you get paid again, and it's just this cycle where we just don't need the things we think we do half the time. It's just not, it's not helpful, it's not healthy, and we don't need to keep living in this cycle just because everyone else is doing it. I don't think that that's, you know, what we as people are meant to do. I think we're meant to be in community with each other, in community and connection with nature. I honestly just think it's the simple things that will always bring us the most joy. It's not the stuff, it's not the high-end job, it's not where you go on vacation, it's not this stuff. Like, it's great to have these experiences, but if you're constantly just chasing all this material stuff, or you're chasing, like, if you're working for the sake of saving money to go on your expensive holiday, and that is consistently what you're chasing year after year, like, I don't know, does that just seem a little depressing? Like, maybe 2 weeks off and you're just working the rest of the year. It just doesn't make sense, and that's not a life that I want to live. And I think I've definitely noticed a lot of people around my age are definitely questioning things too. We're going, well, this obviously isn't working because we've been caught in a weird time where we're not able to have the life our parents and our grandparents had. Like, to be able to buy a house for someone in their 20s, unless you're on an insane income, like, the sheer cost of living has gone through the roof. Like, realistically, unless I think creatively, I'm probably never going to be able to afford a house. So having these discussions and going, okay, well, there are other options, you know, there are tiny houses, there are even caravans, you know, go travelling, there are, you know, community living things, you know, where you chip in on some land and you build. Like, there are all these different options where high chance I'm not going to have the 3-bedroom house with the, you know, the carport and the white picket fence, because I'm probably never going to be able to afford that, and a lot of people my age are never going to be able to afford that. So trying to think creatively about, you know, just everything, because we have to like survive and thrive. We need to be able to adapt to things. There are different avenues, we just have to think outside the box, and I think it's like that with everything at the moment, and it's, I don't know, I kind of like the creative challenge of it. Honestly, it's, if you can turn that fear of the unknown into a, I don't know, almost an excitement to try something new. Because, you know, living a life in fear of everything is just not going to be productive in any way. Be able to just turn that, use your creativity to be able to adapt to these situations that are being thrown at us at the moment. Because we are in new territory. The world is at a really weird point. But yeah, I think as a species, if we want to be able to continue to thrive, we have to adapt and overcome, I think. But I'm just rambling now. I don't actually know what this video was about, but just like a little life update, like where I am, again, sorry, mentally and just in my personal life, I guess. Don't know if this has been helpful at all to hear this, but yeah, just wanted to vent it out. Maybe it's helped someone, maybe it hasn't, I don't know, but thank you for listening regardless. And I hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful night wherever you are. Until next time, see you later.